Cottage here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. So as you can see by the title, today we are going to be trying to do a cottage core makeup tutorial, I guess. So basically what I'm gonna tell you guys what I kind of felt like cottage core was, and then I'm gonna like read the definition of what it is. So in my opinion, cottage core is like very like nature, soft, simple, like very natural, blushy, cute, and all that other stuff. So that's kind of like the aesthetic that I think when I think of like cottage core. The definition says cottage core by definition is an aesthetic that celebrates simple living. It encourages a lifestyle rooted in traditional skills like gardening, sewing your own clothes. Yeah. So yeah, basically, yeah, so I guess also it's like nature, like a cottage. I feel like the name is pretty much what it is, like it describes what it is, which is like very simple cottage, old English, you know what. Anyways, yeah, so in today's video I kind of drew up a face chart of kind of like how I want my makeup to look. It's very like peachy because when I was looking up like the aesthetic and like makeup and aesthetic and all that stuff on like TikTok, Instagram, I don't use Tumblr, I'm not even gonna lie, I don't use Tumblr no more, but Pinterest, all that stuff, it was very like peachy, light, airy colors. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some fluffy soap brows and not fill them in that much. So basically just an all around natural feel look. I got on my cottage core type shirt, floofy, you guys can't see that, but the sleeves are like flare. Anyways, I'm gonna do my interpretation of cottage core makeup, so I hope that makes sense. But anyways, yeah, if you guys want to see me do that, then just keep on watching. Okay, so first things first is I'm gonna try to do my eyebrows like super fluffy. So I'm just gonna take some soap. We're gonna do like a soap brow type thing. I'm just basically gonna coat my brows with the soap. Now that that's done, I'm just gonna lightly go over it with some like brown eyeshadow just to kind of get rid of some of that lightness and also the shininess. But we're not really gonna fill them in, we're just kind of like going over everything. And then we're gonna very lightly go over my eyebrows with some brow gel just to kind of keep everything in place, like the shadows and stuff. And I'm gonna conceal my brows with the NYX Full Coverage Concealer in the shade CJ05. Okay, so now we're moving on to eyes. I'm just going to prime my eyes with the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 16. I'm going to blend that out with a Real Techniques sponge. I realize sometimes when I be doing my makeup, I just be like, sometimes I'll explain exactly what I'm doing, but I won't explain like what I'm doing to like blend it out, like what I'm using and all that stuff. So I'm like, I need to start like explaining every little thing that I'm doing. Like that's how tutorials are, but I just feel like it's so like obvious, and I don't want to be like some like I know everything or whatever, but like that's how tutorials are. Like you're supposed to explain every thing that you're doing. No, instead of being like, I'm gonna prime my eyes, like I say exactly what I'm priming my eyes with, just in case like people are wondering or whatever. So yeah, I'm just not the best beauty guru, you know. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this nude powder shade. I honestly don't think that it was supposed to be eyeshadow. This is from like an old like, what's it called, Victoria's Secret palette, I think, that I literally just use for the mirror because I like how big the mirror is. But it also has this little like nude skin tone shade in there. So I'm just gonna take that on a Morphe, this big Morphe fluffy brush. It doesn't have a number. I'm just gonna swirl it around and then I'm just gonna pat it onto my lid. this is gonna set everything. I do this a lot when I'm doing like makeup looks that I want to be kind of like on the softer side. One, because a lot of the times I'll be doing the most, but especially when you set the lid, the eyeshadow doesn't grip to the concealer as much, so the eyeshadow isn't as pigmented. And I know you guys are probably like, why wouldn't I want my eyeshadow to be that pigmented? But like I said, when I don't set it and I want to do like a soft look, I will literally do the absolute most. So this is just kind of like to stop me from making it super pigmented and like doing way too much. So yeah, and also look how like even it looks. Just looks good. For today's eyeshadow, we're going to be using the Sassy Sienna's palette by Dose of Colors. I actually really love these little 5 color shadows. I have the other one, I think it's called like Blushing Berries. I actually really like these. I don't pull them out a lot just because it's like all one like shade, you know what I mean? I need to pull them out more because like these are so pretty and like the packaging is so cute. Okay, so we're going to be taking Oh So Sassy, or this little like peachy shade. I'm pretty sure that's the only shade that we're going to be using. Actually, I'm not pretty sure. I'm sure this is the only shade that we're going to be using. Like I was saying, sometimes I go overboard or do the absolute most when it comes to eyeshadows, even when it's supposed to be like a soft look. So if y'all see me using any other color besides that one, like just be mad at me, okay? And we're gonna take that on the Morphe M441 brush. So we're gonna dip into that peach shade. We're gonna lightly start blending it out onto the lid, into the crease, and we're blending out a little bit towards like the temple, very lightly though. You're gonna want to hold the brush very low at the bottom and just lightly touch your eyelids with the brush just to get it really soft. We're also going to dust it onto the lid. Okay, so now I'm going to add some white dots to my look. A lot of the looks that I've seen also just like in my mind, something that adds to like the cottage core aesthetic is like white liner, white whatever on the eyelids, just because I feel like it's very brightening and it just like makes everything open up and makes it look very like bright, pretty, soft, all that stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of white eyeliners on me. Like I'm not good at doing it on myself. I think they're so gorgeous on other people. Like I wish so much that I could like achieve it and make it look like the best, but as of right now that's just not something that I am capable of doing. So we just gonna take that with a little pat on the chest and be like, okay, you might not be able to do a great white eyeliner, cat eye right now, but we'll keep learning. But today is not one of those learning days. So we're gonna take, actually, you know what I'm gonna do before I do the white dots? I'm gonna do a brown liner. So we're gonna take a like small angled brush. This one is the BH Cosmetics, shoot, the numbers worked off. So this is just what it looks like. It's like a small angled brush. So we're gonna take that and we're gonna take the last darkest shade in the Sassy Sienna's palette. I'm basically just gonna do like a wing with it. Pretty. Okay, now we're gonna do the white dots. I'm hoping this doesn't like look bad or mess it up because I really like this look. I mean, it would be really easy to redo. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is foundation. So this is gonna be like actually a really tricky part, just because I want it to be very light, because obviously that's the whole deal of the whole thing. So I'm gonna take the Maybelline Matte and Poreless Fit Me foundation in the shade 334 Warm Sun, straight on a sponge, and just start tapping it on my face. It's actually a little white, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do on the top of my face first, and then we're gonna mix it with a little bit of something darker, and then do like the bottom of my face. And now we're gonna take the Juvia's Place concealer in the shade 16, the same one that we used to conceal our eyes, and just lightly conceal with this. I usually put it like right in the middle, kind of going up onto the bridge of my nose, right here to extend the face, on my chin, cupid's bow, and forehead, and a little bit on my nose. We're gonna let that dry so it's not so like slippery and all over the place when we go to blend it out. Now I'm gonna take this ABH stick foundation in espresso, and we're just gonna lightly bronze a little bit. We're gonna take off these earrings because they be getting in the way sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna take this big Morphe pointed brush and just tap that out. I literally have the world's biggest forehead. I wasn't always like insecure about it, but recently I've been being really insecure about it just because it's so huge. Like, I read this thing a while ago that said like, oh, the prettiest people have big foreheads, and I'm like, girl, this forehead is something else. But yeah, I'm also making my face pretty bronzy, as you can tell, just because I feel like, in my opinion, that's kind of like a part of it. I'm gonna blend out the concealer. We're gonna just like bounce it in place for a few seconds, and then I start blending it out. So I basically wanted to get right here and a little bit on the bridge of my nose, and then the excess from the inner corner you kind of drag under, and then you bounce this for a second and just get everything concealed and lifted. I'm gonna take this ColourPop blush stick in the shade 25-8. I'm basically just gonna put it right there on my nose. I want it to be super blushy. Okay, and still while it's a little bit tacky, I'm gonna start setting everything. So I'm gonna take the Airspun powder. I'm gonna take it on that Your Technique sponge. Also just really focusing on places that are gonna have powder products there in a second, so like blush, bronzer, and all that stuff, just because you don't want it to stick to the wet. Well, if you're like a professional and you're good at blending, you don't really have to like focus on those spots, but I'm not, so I like to focus on those spots. I take this like random bronzer, use whatever bronzer you have, because I don't know the name of this one, so. Now I'm going to take this Tarte blush in Party, and I'm going to put it the same places I put the cream blush. Now for highlighter, we're going to take the Fenty Beauty highlighter in Trophy Wife. We're going to take it on a fan brush. I'm going to lightly take it and just do a little brush of it. And then I'm going to take the ABH Glow Kit in Sun Dipped, and I'm going to take Moonstone on the Morphe E36 brush. And I'm going to put it on my Cupid's bow. And then I'm also going to put it on the tip of my nose. And then right here, I'm gonna take like a fluffy brush and just blend it out so it's not too intense. I do like an intense nose highlight, but sometimes it be wild. And now I'm gonna do my under eye really quickly. So basically I'm just gonna take that same pink that we used at the top on the M506 brush. Then I'm gonna put on setting spray and mascara and stuff. After I put on mascara, I'm gonna see how it looks with just mascara. And if it looks like pretty good, then I won't add a lash, but I probably will just because like I feel like I can't breathe without faux lashes. The dramatics coming out, but yeah, so I'm gonna put on the last setting spray round and then do my lashes, and then I'll come back with you guys for lips, and then like we'll be finished and we'll do the final reveal and everything. So yeah. Now for my lips, I'm gonna take this Wet n Wild Color Con pencil in this shade. Okay, there's no shade, but it's like this shade. I'm gonna see what this looks like. This might not be the final lip look, but we're gonna see. So I'm gonna line my lips with this. Okay, and then I'm gonna put on just this Broadway Ultra Lip Coconut Oil Lip Gloss. This is from like, you know, the good ones, like the fire ones from like the hair store. This is one of those. So we're just gonna put that on. Okay, and then I'm gonna just go off camera really quick because I think I'm gonna add like a few things to this look. I'm thinking if instead of like the white lines, if I should just add pearls, it'll look exactly the same except more circular. And a little more 3D. So I'll be back in like not even two. I'll be back really quick just to do, I'm gonna go off camera, do some finishing touches, and then I'll come back with the finished look. Okay, so this is the finished Cottage Core makeup look. I just added like some butterflies just because, I don't know, I just feel like it really adds to the Cottage Core aesthetic with like nature, simpler times, just all that good stuff. I just did it because I wanted to, okay? Yeah, and I did end up adding the pearls. Like I said, you can't really see a difference from like a distance or whatever, unless you get up close. Also, it just looks more circular, and that's what I wanted. I have a very shaky hand, so the circles before weren't that circular or whatever. But yeah, this is the finished Cottage Core makeup look. I'm in love with it so much. I just love how soft and gentle it is, and just very like simple, all that good stuff. I could have went a little bit lighter on the foundation, but I tried my best. I'm not the best at like low coverage foundation because like full coverage is like my thing, but I tried my best. You guys see me, I literally only use like a little bit of foundation. So yeah, this was so much fun. I love it so much. Add this to the list of all the other makeup aesthetics that I already tried. So you definitely try out this Cottage Core Soft. It actually gives me similar vibes to like the fairy look that I did. It's similar like aesthetics in my opinion. When I see people do like Cottage Core makeup, I'm like, oh, fairy. And also like fairies live in cottages. It's just like a whole together thing that they remind me of each other. Also, here's a close-up on like the eyeshadow, how soft and simple it is, and also how the brows look. I really like the way the brows look, especially this brow is like giving me all life just because it looks kind of like natural but also like shaped right and everything. So yeah, this is the close-up look. But yeah, this video was so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I liked filming it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Turn on my post notifications to be notified every time that I upload. I'm gonna keep saying this. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you liked this video, if you like me, all that good stuff. I really want to try to grow this channel and everything, so definitely subscribe if you like it here, and you can become part of our little family. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to keep up with me when I'm not posting on YouTube. You can follow me on all my other social medias. All that good stuff will be in the description box down below, but it's also on the screen right here if you want to just like take a gander right here. So yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. And click in the middle thing right here to subscribe. Click on one of these other videos because you're already here and all that good stuff. So